Yo, 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 yo. We are live. We are live. We are live. What is going on? I hope you are having a wonderful day. I hope you are enjoying yourself. Hope you're enjoying your life today. We are back here for episode one, our inaugural episode of the Pursuit of Forever podcast. So, we're going to take just a minute to let people in before we get started because we are live and we are ready to share with you all what we have today. We've definitely spent some time preparing the material for today. So, Tali, you got something? You want to say something?
I'm just saying I'm excited. I'm really happy to be able to do this today with you and see everybody's comments and kind of see what's going on.
What's been going on? If you haven't already, please, please, please go ahead and follow our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we are now also broadcasting live on YouTube as well today. So if you go to YouTube and you look up Pursuit of Forever, we're also in there as well. Go ahead and let people know that we are in the Hizzy house tonight. Tonight's topic is our relationship goals. So as you're coming in, make sure you say hi, say hello. We got definitely a treat for you guys. But we're going to give it about one more minute for you to come in, and we're going to get right to it, man. Because, like I said, we've been working on this. We've been talking about it. We've been really excited about the opportunity to do this for you guys tonight. So get ready for the Pursuit of Forever podcast, episode one, starting in 30 seconds. If I can find my countdown. Countdown. There we go. Bing. Hello, 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 hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm Latoya.
And I am Rajan, and this is the Pursuit of Forever podcast. On this podcast, we recognize that forever is an aspiration, but to get there, we all need work and to identify the steps that we're taking daily to get there.
On this platform, we want to use our experiences in love, marriage, and parenting, and much more to help you achieve long lasting, meaningful relationships.
Disclaimer: we are not experts in marriage counseling, nor do we pretend to be. Instead, we are people sharing our truths to help you to live your own truths as well as have worthwhile conversations within your relationships.
We believe happy, fulfilling marriages are possible, and if you're willing to do the work, so let's get to it.
Let's get to it. So we like to start off. We're going to be starting off each show, with we have try to have our rundown of how we're going to do things. And the first thing we want to do is check in. It's important to check in and just sort of talk about what's happened in the last week between us. So Toy, I'll let you start off. Where do you want to start your check-in?
Oh, I'm back at work, so that's something different.
Since last time we potted.
Yeah, since the last time we potted. Not a little sad, but just trying to get back in the groove of things. If you guys watched our first episode, you heard me talk about how I was excited about turning my alarm off. Now my alarm is back on. So yeah, I'm over here dragging a little bit, but I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Okay, and since last time we potted on last Thursday, lots have happened. We've actually brought in a new year. We're in 2024, so happy New Year to every single person watching. I hope you guys got it set off right. My check-in is definitely going to be about the way we were able to bring in the new year.
Oh yeah.
We had a new marriage. Shout out to Delano and Sean Cunningham for getting married. We went to their wedding ceremony in Myrtle Beach and helped them to bring in to formalize their long-standing relationship into marriage. So shout out to my cousin Delano.
Witnessing their love in front of the Lord.
Yes, absolutely. And so that was an amazing thing to do. But we decided, since we're going to be there, to go ahead and to stay there for the evening.
Family time.
We got and bring in the new year with our kids, which was really great. We stayed. Shout out to Kingston Plantation, great resort
Pew, pew, pew.
out there in Myrtle Beach. And we brought in the new
Yeah,
year. You know, as a
with our
family, we
kids.
talked about a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight about our
Yeah.
goals. We talked about what we did in 2023, some of the things that we learned, some of the things that we're carrying forward into this year.
Yeah.
And it was just really a bittersweet opportunity, especially on my daughter Natasha's birthday.
Yeah, baby.
She wasn't with us. I think this is the first
Physically,
New Year
but in
that
spirit,
she
she was
wasn't with
there.
us in person.
Yeah.
Because she's out of basic training. Shout out to Tasha.
Cool.
Just counting down a day so we can see you if you're watching this.
Yes.
I know you're not. But it was just a great opportunity to be with the family and just have a great time together. So that was my check-in. I had a great time, much like Toya. Went back to work today.
Yeah.
And just get back to the groove of that. So I'm excited about the rest of this week and what is to come. So with that being the case, I wanted to. So the next thing that we're gonna do each episode is we're gonna go into our meme of the week. Meme of the week, and the meme of the week is stuff that we sort of identified as inspirational to us, and we want to share with you guys because not only do we want to talk about the things that we've experienced, but we also want to share resources and inspiration to you guys that can maybe motivate you and carry you along your way as you're going through your journeys of relationships towards marriage, if you are married, and if you've been married, and you have been on the other side of it, maybe to give you a little bit of inspiration to want to get back married again maybe one day if you haven't been considering it. My meme for this week comes from on Twitter. It's at Ruth's Marriage. They seem to be a pretty good follow so far, and it says if you don't like your marriage, change your marriage, not your spouse. People want to change their spouse, but don't want to work on changing their marriage. I think that's just a great reminder of the fact that we have to continue to, like we said, pursue forever by working on ourselves, working on ourselves and working on what's going on in the relationship. If I have a problem with my spouse isn't the problem. The problem is the thing that's going on. Mm-hmm. So again, not attacking my wife or attacking my partner when I have a disagreement, but instead, looking at the things that looking at the things that are bothering me. So that was just a reminder, if you have a problem within your marriage, change your marriage, not your spouse. Right. That's just a really good message, in my opinion. I hope. What do you guys think about that? And if you come up with some stuff that you see, please make sure you add us on at Pursuit of Forever on Twitter or on Facebook. Also works as well. And this is the one that we got from Toya, which is on Instagram. Toya, I'm loaded up. You want to talk about it?
Okay, sure. Yeah. So this was what we call a screen post on Instagram. So you can swipe. So there's a lot of things. If you guys want to go back and take a look at it, but one that pulled from me was, I think, slide number 4. This one kind of just went over things that can be true. And so you can also replace the word marriage with relationship if you guys are not there yet. The one I was pulling up was going to be the one where it says, true, one partner needs to work on how they express emotions in a more productive way. Also true, the other needs to work on how receptive they are to feedback, feelings, and needs. So I think a lot of times, sometimes when we have discussions, we kind of speak just so we can hear ourselves speak and not necessarily speak for the relationship, and allow the other person time to digest what the conversation was and then have their own feedback with it. And so for me, I think that's something that's super important when you're having conversations, is to also be receptive in those times, mm-hmm. to make sure the dialogue goes both ways. And of course, like I said, both things can be true. So
nice.
What do you think?
I love that idea. One partner needs to work on how they express emotions in productive ways. And the other needs to work on how receptive they are to feedback, feelings and needs. Mm-hmm. I definitely think we're going to do definitely a session on communication.
Yeah.
A lot of times we think that we're communicating and expressing emotions, but the truth is that sometimes we're either emotionally dumping on the person or attacking them verbally, mm-hmm. With our words. And you may not intend it that way, but always understand that impact always means much more than intent. How you intended something to come out and how it actually lands are not always the same thing. So make sure that while you are providing that constructive criticism to your spouse about the situation, that you're also considering their feelings and their needs in doing so.
Yeah. I would also say too, sometimes we communicate how we want other people to communicate to us. And so when you're in a relationship, you also need to be thinking about there's two people in the situation. So we've had situations where there's been conversations and Rajon has talked to me in a way where I'm like, I don't really like how you brought that to me. And I'm done listening. So just kind of be mindful to be open to the different ways other people.
I've heard people say so many times, "Oh well, I, I talk the way I talk, and if I talk the way I talk, then they should just be able to process it the way I want them to take it." And the truth is that that's not at all a fair way to treat people. We are human beings. We have needs, and you want to be treated with respect.
Yeah.
And respect isn't what you deem it to be. It's what you receive. Like if I receive something that's respectful, and you think it's respectful, like they don't cancel each other out. Like I'm always going to receive that disrespectfully. So yeah, I absolutely think that you're right there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this thing.
That's fine. While you're doing that, I'll also say too, another thing that has worked for us in conversations is we each have what we want to bring to the table and what we want to talk about. And so another way for the other person to make sure that we understand what they're saying is, I heard you say blah, blah, blah. And repeating it back to them, because sometimes what we hear is not necessarily what the other person is saying.
Yeah.
So
and something else that I know that we do, and again, I know this isn't the conversation. This isn't the night for the conversation on communication. But I mean, you can literally do eons and eons of content just on how important it is to have effective communication.
Yeah.
I lost my point because I was looking down and trying to think. But
okay.
You were saying something.
Yeah, just how we communicate.
Yes, how we communicate matters. How you communicate matters.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the next part we're going to talk about. Sorry about that. The next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to have is our meme. We did our meme of the week, so we got check-in.
Yeah.
Meme of the week. Now we're going to have our video of the week. So we both selected some TikToks, TikTok videos or reels that we wanted to share.
Us on there too.
And if you're not already following us on Pursuit of Forever at Gmail, Pursuit of Forever on TikTok, please do. Please do follow us.
Love to have you.
And I'm loading up the TikTok now so y'all can see that.
And it'll be a surprise which one is first. So
it'll be yours first.
Oh, me? Okay, good.
All right. You ready?
And let us know if you guys can hear it.
Let us know if you can hear it. Maximize it so y'all can see it.
And our egos don't get in the
way. I'm going to restart it.
Yeah, and lastly, I think
asking my husband what the best thing about being married to me is, his answer had me blushing.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. So,
what's up?
So we've been married for 13 years.
Yes.
We've been together for 15.
Yeah.
If you guys can comment, please let us know if you hear it to make sure. I can barely hear them.
I can barely hear it.
About being married to me. Apart from the fact that I'm
can y'all hear it?
Really, really funny.
Yes, and incredible and gorgeous and all that good stuff. I don't know, man. You know, I think about Teddy Pendergrass, right? When he speaks about it's so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back and somebody
barely. All right. Oh, 1 second.
Thanks,
thank you. This is our first episode, so this is one of those things. Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me make sure we get the sound right for you guys.
We can hear, but it's slow. Thank you guys for the comments. We appreciate it. Give us 1 second.
Where this mutual love is something.
Let me try it this way.
So while Rajon is getting that queued up, you guys can just comment in the chat and let me know how your day's been going so far. How's everybody doing?
Oh, it's just on mute. Not on mute. Let's try it now.
Something that I definitely don't take for granted. So I love that you love me. I love that I love you, and it's reciprocated. That's just something that's a miracle in itself. Number two, I think we're just locked in, and what I mean.
All right, we're gonna get this straightened out. I do apologize for this, but we'll move on. We won't use the TikToks today. We'll just share it next time. We'll just add this part next time so you guys can make sure you get that. I do apologize for that. We want to make sure we got it right for you guys. But next time we will have our TikToks of the week. TikToks of the week that we'll share with you guys. About to post a lyric today.
Yes.
Love that Teddy Pendergrass. Love that. Oh, he's doing the Teddy Pendergrass thing?
Well, it's from the video. So, I may just share it. I'll share it in our stories.
All right, we'll share it on the Facebook page. On our story. All right, word. All right. So, with that being said, we went past the check-in. We've gone past the meme of the week, the video of the week. And now we move to today's topic. And today's topic is relationship goals. Relationship goals. Now we know we use that term, pretty loosely when we're talking about relationships. Everybody says, "Hey, these people are relationship goals." At one point, Will and Jada was relationship goals. People say, Barack and Michelle are relationship goals. You know, but what we're actually not talking about is couples that we see as goals, but instead setting goals as a couple.
Right.
Setting goals as a couple.
And the importance of doing that. I think in a relationship, it's important individually to have your own goals, as well as, bringing your partner along and being able to be that accountability for them and being that person that kind of is their sounding board and the person that they get to talk to about what kind of goals they have. So, do you guys agree with that?
All right. So when we're talking, let's first thing we're going to do is establish what are goals.
Yeah.
All right. So what are goals? In your opinion, what are goals?
Goals are something that I want to achieve that I'm working towards. I'm not there yet, but something I'm working on doing.
Okay.
I'm actively working towards.
Okay. So you're actively working towards.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So to me, goals. When I think about goals, I think about, again, something like you said, something I want to achieve, a place that I want to get to. But by definition, it says that a goal is the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or desired result. The object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or a desired result. So when we establish that as the term goals, all right, we'll talk with the term goal. What is a goal? Why it's important? Why is it important to set goals? Why do you think it's important to set goals?
I think it's important as like a touchstone to know what you're working towards. Otherwise, just aimlessly, out there.
Yeah, I think you're right. What I would say is goals let you know where you're going, but it will also establish a way for you to get there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, people, wander aimlessly, right?
Yeah.
You wander aimlessly because you don't know where you want to end up. If you are in, say, I wake up in the morning, and I always use this example. If I wake up in the morning and decide, say, hey, where do I want to go today? And I just say, well, I'm just going to get in the car and drive, right? I can be driving for 7, 8, 9 hours and never get anywhere.
Yeah.
Why? Because I never established where I want to end up. So I think goals are very important because they let you know, one, where you want to end up. Two, it lets you understand if you're going the wrong way. There's usually some kind of indicator that, oh man, I meant to go to Walmart and I've been driving for 8 hours and the Walmart is 20 minutes down the street. Yeah. Something went wrong where I was supposed to end up here. And so I think that just in the context of life, like goals are so important because they really outline where you want to end up at the end of the day.
Yeah. I also would say too, like in addition to what you were saying, goals, setting the goal also gives you the ability to be able to see where you are right now.
Yeah.
So when we go back and we are, reviewing our year, new year, new me, whatever it might be, you have to have a baseline. You have to establish what a baseline is in order to figure out where you are. That will help you determine where you're going and how to get to where you're going.
Okay, good point. So why is it important to set goals?
For that reason. For me, yeah, it's important to set goals for that same reason. I want to know where I'm at, how long it's going to take me for, to get to where I'm trying to go to. What steps I need to take to get there. And so it helps me be able to map that out a little bit better by being able to, know from point to point where I'm at.
Yeah. So now that you said that, and now that we've established what we believe goals to be, let's talk about the confines of what we are here to discuss tonight, which is relationships, right? Yeah. So what are relationship goals and do they differ from individual goals?
I could say yes and no.
Okay, what are relationship goals? Because it's a two-part question. You said yes.
So relationship goals are goals you have specifically for your relationship. So if we're talking about someone who is in the courting stage, is your relationship goal to get married? Or is your goal to just be a lifelong dater? Is marriage a piece of paper? What is your actual goal? What are our goals? What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So I think one so marriage could be a relationship goal, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to be the only goal. Right. There's a lot of goals that you can have within a relationship beyond just do we want to get married? Which I, again, as I said last week's pod, I believe dating to be audition for a relationship
For marriage.
For marriage.
Yeah.
Yes. So for me, if I'm dating somebody, one of my goals is to one day marry them.
Mhm.
But that can't be the end of my goals
Absolutely.
in that relationship,
Yeah.
because a lot of times what happens is we make marriage the goal, then we get married, and we don't know we've achieved the thing.
Yeah. That's
We've
it.
had the wedding,
Mhm.
we've eaten the cake, we got the Instagram pictures,
Yeah.
and now we're just like, okay, now I got this whole wife. What am I going to do with her?
Right.
I got
Yeah.
this whole husband. What am I going to do with him?
Yeah.
So I think that within a relationship, like I think that relationship goals are goals that you set to sort of chart the course for the relationship.
Mhm.
You know, when we think about, you know, where we currently are in our marriage,
Right.
I think about our goals as where do we want to end up in 5, 10, 20, 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
We're now in our 40s, right?
know.
One of our relationship goals, you know, we're going to talk about the different types of goals,
Right.
is to be able to retire at some point.
Absolutely.
So are we working individually towards that goal? Are we working collectively towards that goal?
So I think it can be both in a
Mhm.
relationship, and it should be both.
Mhm.
When you come into a relationship or a marriage, partnership, whatever you want to call it, you have your own individual goals. You should have your own individual goals. You should be working on that for yourself.
Mhm.
But in addition to that, I think there also is a responsibility as well to have that same thing with your relationship, to be able to figure out where you guys are and where you're trying to go and what the trajectory of that is.
Which is why that's sort of what I was going to with the individual goals
Mhm.
versus relationship goals,
Right.
right? So I think that if you are a person that, and again, if I'm,
Yeah, go ahead.
like, if you are a person that's in a relationship or a person that's aspiring to a relationship, right? Let's say you get into a relationship, you're in an early stage of a relationship with somebody, and you see a future with them.
Mhm.
Your goal setting should include what's going on in a relationship.
Absolutely.
If my goal is to, you know, if I am married to
Uh-huh.
you, my goal should be something that's going to be in tandem with where we're going as a couple.
Absolutely.
My goal shouldn't be to do something that's going to pull away from our marriage. So
Mhm.
like if my goal was to start a strip club, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm 42 years old,
Mhm.
married for 16 years,
Mhm.
been together for 18 years. We know what our goals are. We know what our values are. But if
Mhm.
I just said, "Oh, I'm going to go open a strip club because this is something that I've always wanted to do,"
Right.
how does that relate to my relationship and the goals that I want to have of being married
Right.
in 25 years? Will that make it more likely or less likely that I'm going to be able to continue this marriage?
Mhm.
So I think that a lot of times when we're having goals, sort of being able to make sure that it is in alignment with what you've established as a standard within your relationship.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
that matters.
When you're setting those goals, absolutely. I think that's important. Definitely to be able to have those conversations and make sure that everybody's on the same page about what it is we're writing down that we're going to be doing, because we're going to be working individually and collectively towards these goals as a couple.
So with that in mind, let's talk to them sort of about how we go about our goal setting,
Okay.
and sort of how we talk through it. So because maybe they're like, okay, I get what you're saying, but
Mhm.
this doesn't sound realistic in real
Okay.
life. So let's talk about the process that we do in terms of our goal setting each year.
Yeah. So for us, when we set goals, we use the acronym. You want to say what the acronym is? You remember
I
that?
didn't know it was an acronym. I just write the thing down.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
There's an acronym we
Yeah,
use?
there's an acronym that we use when we do our goal setting, where we talk about the definition of each one of the words, and is it realistic? Is it achievable?
Oh, you're talking about SMART goals.
Yeah.
SMART goals.
So
Yeah.
you want to talk about a little bit about SMART
Is
goals?
it okay? SMART goals. So for those who don't know, SMART goals are SMART. Is it
Specific.
S specific? Are you specifically setting a goal? M, is it measurable?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell like how many? Is it a measurable goal?
Yeah.
A, is it
Achievable.
achievable? Is it
something you
a
can do?
far-fetched goal? Is your goal to be a millionaire by the end of 2024? And you have like 35 cents in your account right now? Is that an achievable goal? Realistic? Is it a realistic goal? Is it realistic again
In the time frame.
in the time frame to do that? And then time based, right?
Yeah.
So during what time frame do you want to do that?
Yeah.
For example, me and Toya are trying to save a certain amount of money this year, and so one of our things that we've done in our goals, we set that number and we've broken that number up over the course of the year. And quarterly, we're checking back to see where we are on that. But it's very time based, and you can do that in relationships as well. Just in terms of just the fact that we just talked about the financial goal, right? Having that financial goal, working together on that goal, and checking in with one another.
Absolutely. So there'll be portions of your goal setting where you should have time set aside where you go in and check in. For us, we do that. We set quarterly. That's what we decided to do this year. I find that sometimes giving yourself some time to be able to work towards a goal and then having that check-in is going to be very important, because then you have some kind of accountability towards it.
Yeah.
That helps you be able to see, okay, are we on track? Do we need to tweak it a little bit more? Like, Rajan shared, we have a number that we're working towards to save this year. So being able to see if we're going to be on track with it during that first quarter. Do we need to make some tweaks? Do we need to save a little bit more? Do we need to cut back a little bit more? Having those conversations will be able to allow us to be able to make moves and changes as we see fit or as necessary.
Yeah, and then we also have, so we have the different, so we have SMART goals,
Mhm.
but
We break
it
them
has
down in
different categories, right? So we have personal goals, professional goals, spiritual goals, financial goals,
Mhm.
right? So each of those goals sort of cater to a different part of our life
Mhm.
as we go along. I try to do it that way sometime before the start of the new year, but sometimes you miss it and you just end up doing it. We don't do like the resolutions thing, but we do set goals every year. And I believe that in setting those goals, it allows us to sort of identify where we are in the confines of this relationship
Mhm.
as well. So just back to the relational aspect, I mentioned all the different parts, but in terms of the relationship aspect,
Mhm.
what are some relationship goals that you set for this year?
Just making sure that I am present in the times that we're together. So kind of we discussed previously in episode 0 where we talked about date night and making sure that that is a night that we literally are not doing anything but dating each other. So being present during that time. So not on my phone, not on social media, not checking emails from work, checking text messages from the kids if it's an emergency, things like that, kind of prepping for that time where we're having uninterrupted time together.
Sorry, Bridget, I see your comment. The goal categories were personal, professional, spiritual, and financial. Personal,
And these are,
professional,
hours.
spiritual, and financial.
Mhm.
And of course, again, nothing that we say is
Mhm.
gospel. So, like, by all means, like, take it and find your ways to do these things.
Mhm.
This is something that's just worked for us. We always are coming from the standpoint of our experience and things that have worked for us.
Yeah.
But personal, professional, spiritual, and financial. Just to break down sort of what those categories mean. Personal. For me, like I don't mind sharing these.
Yeah.
My goal, personal goals were to have date night once a week.
Mhm.
That's something we started. I want to make sure that I'm very intentional about doing that and being
Mhm.
very specific about that. Kiss my wife at least once a day.
Mhm.
I think that's important that I kiss my wife at least once a day. Tell her that I love her at least once a day. I'd probably tell her like 15 times a day,
I
but
appreciate
I
it.
want to make sure that I say it at least once a day for sure.
Yeah.
I also made a goal of talking to all my kids at least once a week, but not like hi, but like an actual conversation
Yeah.
with them at least once a week to really do a status check and a baseline check. Because when we talk about relationships, one of the most important relationships to me is the relationship that I have with my children.
Mhm.
Being able to provide a sounding board and an ear to them in their individual situations. You may think that your kids aren't that they don't need to talk to you because they're so old. Our oldest daughter is 23 and our babies are 17 now, or 16 now. They'll be 17 this year. But they still need to hear from you. They still need to talk to you. So that's something that I put into my personal goals, and it's something that I can sort of manage and govern for myself.
Yeah, I will also add into Bridget. I did see that you asked. Lists can change as well. So I'll just tell you mine is similar to Rajan's, but I have 7 categories. So my first one is going to be family, second one spiritual, 3 physical, 4 intellectual, 5 career, 6 financial, and 7 is personal. So like you said, number 1 for family, I picked spending time building relationships with each child individually, and then also making sure that we have family dinners at least once a week. Well, on this time, I put twice a week, so we're gonna try to up it up a little bit.
Mhm.
But doing that spirituality, setting a time aside 15 minutes to, do my devotionals in the morning, read the word, things like that. Begin each day, with the end in mind. And just moving on from there. So physical, whether that's working out or walking 30 minutes a day, or, getting up when my Apple Watch tells me to move, doing that, and not ignoring it. And then, things like that. So you can kind of just update it as things go on. You can change it, or, you can add more things to it.
Yeah. And it's something that we do. One, we don't do ours together.
No.
Right. Like she just said she has different categories than I have.
Mhm.
But the thing that we do with our goals is that we make sure that our goals are in alignment with one another.
Yeah.
Right. For example, she wouldn't make a goal of getting a college degree.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, just get a college degree without first saying, hey, what are my goals to get a college degree? I'm going to need your support in
Mm-hmm.
getting my goals by doing these things. And I say that for a very specific reason, because sometimes in relationships, we try to move like single people. When you're in a relationship, you cannot move like a single person. I can't make decisions that are going to take me out of my home, that are going to take finances out of our home, that are going to change our lifestyle, our way of living, our way of life without consulting the person that's going to impact the most. Hey, babe, I'll go back to 2010.
Ooh.
2010, I was working at, hey, what's up, Tiff? I was working at AT&T.
Yeah.
This year changed my life. I was sitting in my job and I hated my job. I hated my job.
I hate AT&T.
Hate AT&T.
We don't hate AT&T,
We don't hate
but that was
AT&T
a customer statement.
Pursuit
guys.
of
It's
forever
an
that I
inside
hate
joke.
AT&T, but
But yeah.
I personally did not like working at AT&T. I was making decent money, but I was not happy.
Yeah.
I was very, very
Unfulfilled.
sad, unfulfilled. I would say even borderline depressed.
Yeah.
And one day I was sitting at my desk and a whole lot of things happened, which I will not go into today. But this lady ended up coming over and praying for me, and buying me a Bible and really asking me to do some soul searching in terms of what I wanted.
Yeah.
And after that conversation, after talking to God, I decided, like, I don't want to be here anymore in terms of at AT&T. I want to be on earth. Right. But I didn't want to be at AT&T. So I went home and I told my wife, I said, babe, I think I'm going to quit my job.
Oh, this was at work. You told me this at work.
I said, I'm going to quit my job. And she was like, and do what? And I was like, I want to go back to school. I'm going to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, to study what? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know, but if I don't start, I'll never get there.
Yeah.
So that goal, identifying that where I am right now is not the place that I want to be. But instead of just quitting my job, I went to my wife and I said, babe, we talk a lot about submission on the internet, what it means to be submissive to somebody. But I wanted to submit my thoughts to my wife because again, partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Partnership.
Yeah.
My wife came to me and she said, okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's see what you want to do. After we talked about it, after she shared her thoughts with me, her concerns, she gave me the green light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She gave me the green light. She gave me the go ahead to leave my job,
mm-hmm.
which I was doing, like I said, financially pretty well, but I wasn't happy.
Right.
I ended up leaving that job, going back to Trident Tech as a small business major. While I was a small business major, I had a professor who watched me working with other students in my class at Trident Tech, who referred me to the Call Me Mr. program at College of Charleston. I became a teacher. I ended up in the classroom, which led to me mentoring. Me mentoring led to me becoming a program director of an organization and then becoming the executive director. That is now what I do for a living.
Talk about it.
That is not what I do for a living. It started from me trusting my partner
pivoting
to help me get to a place where I could reach my goal, which was to be fulfilled. And when I tell you that what I do every day, I wake up to do what I love to do every single day. And I couldn't do it without her.
No,
I could not do that without her. So when we talk about relationship goals, like that should be something we should have. We should have fulfillment within our relationships.
Yeah.
Now imagine if I would have just quit my job without talking to my wife and just went out on my own and came home like, yo, I quit my job today. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, that is.
It's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, but I think also too, like you said, that comes back to a lot of things: being vulnerable, being able to know who you're with, being able to identify when there's issues. Because obviously during that time, I definitely knew you were like unfulfilled in that situation. You weren't happy. It was not something that drove you every day. And those are things that, as a partner, you should be able to notice as well in the person that you're with. And I think, we were both in positions where I had to identify what it is that God was trying to do in that situation and kind of just be like, I'm gonna step back and just let him do his thing.
But to your point, like just again, a goal, like if we are communicating, if we are talking to one another about, what we feel about things, where we stand, our levels of happiness or unhappiness
Yeah.
in situations, it allows us to be able to make that pivot.
Mhm.
When you establish that as a goal,
Right.
like you know when you're off kilter. Again, if
Mhm.
I'm driving to Walmart and I've been driving for 8 hours,
Mhm.
I recognize, yo, I was supposed to be to Walmart a long time ago.
Right.
If you are in tune with your spouse, if you're in tune with your partner,
Yeah.
it allows you to recognize, dang, she said she wanted to do this by this time.
Yeah.
We're here. Where is she? How is she feeling? What are her thoughts about where she is? Does she need some tough love from me now?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Can I hold her accountable at this time? Are we at a place in our relationship where I can hold her accountable and say, hey, you told me at the beginning of this year that you wanted to do this, and based on what you told me, you're not on the track there.
Yeah. And then also too, you have to be willing to receive that.
Back to your meme.
Yeah, you got to be willing to receive that. There were times definitely where I was like, yo, thank you. I appreciate you trying to give me some accountability, but yeah, I'm good on that right now. So just kind of being honest with
And if we're keeping it
ourselves.
a buck,
Yeah, let's keep it a buck. Where you going?
and if we're keeping it a buck, there are still times where,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
and that's why it comes back to like, it's not about we're so perfect.
Yeah.
Let us tell you about how to be perfect. No. We are pursuing forever.
Absolutely.
And that means
yeah, I think definitely there are going to be times, and that's just growth in general. There'll be times when, you know, you'll be like, you're past a certain thing, or we're good and I don't really need that. And then your spouse also should be a mirror, or the person you're with is also a mirror, to be able to be like, okay, well, we're good, right? So I'm able to tell you everything. So let me tell you, I don't think you should be eating them chips right now. Or you said you want to be working out 30 minutes a day. I haven't seen my Apple Watch say you did a workout yet.
Yeah.
What's up? You know?
And encouraging goals, right? Encouraging goals. So like, you don't even recognize. You may not even recognize you did this. So for those who don't know, I started kickboxing last week. Tomorrow I'll be going for my 4th session. Shout out to everybody at Rockbox.
Yes.
I'm not sponsored by them yet. But I go to kickboxing. Yesterday morning, I got up to go to kickboxing. The alarm went off early. I got up, got out of bed, got dressed, and was leaving. And before I left, my wife said, "I'm proud of you."
Oh, I did? I was sleeping.
You did. You said, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And that put a little wind in my sails.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So when you know, again, when you know what your spouse's goals are, when you set those goals in partnership with the idea of long-term, we want this thing to work. I want you to achieve your goals, because when you achieve your goals, you feel good about you.
Absolutely.
You feel good about you. And so along the way, encourage them. Hey, you said we're going to save, this much money. I noticed that you aren't eating out as much as you did because we want to save that money.
Yeah.
Thanks for being attentive to our goals.
Yeah.
Thank you for being true to it. And a lot of times we forget to do that part.
That part, yeah. Yeah, I think we've done that too. We've had some moments where we haven't done that, but yeah.
We haven't done what?
Well, we haven't been like, yeah, I see you out here doing your thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's also important too. So yeah, definitely make time to also provide the positivity with the critiques.
Yeah. So and we'll probably do a whole session on critiquing, but
not just critiques, but just even like statements. So like there was a meme that I saw previously about how like you can catch like more flies with honey or something like that.
Yeah.
What was it? Like you start, the statement with, hey, you're doing great. I see you working out. I see you meal prepping, whatever it might be. And then you come in with whatever the thing is, and then you come back in with something positive on top of that. So you kind of make a sandwich with it. So it doesn't seem like it might be offensive. Even if that's not your intention. It kind of just makes it a little bit easier to be digested by the other person.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely more flies with honey than with vinegar for sure. But when you're talking about goals, like also understand when you set goals, like goals aren't, they're not just because you put a goal down, you say I want to save, $50,000 this year, and you save 25, we gonna give up. We didn't make it. Like that's something to celebrate. If you set a goal of saving $50,000 a year, you save 25. That's still $25,000 more than you had at the start of the year. So
Absolutely.
Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Give yourself grace. Celebrate the little things.
Yeah.
And don't feel, but also don't make your goal so vague that you don't know when you've actually achieved it.
Yeah, well, that's why we said, time-based and specific. Specifically, what is it that I want to achieve? I want to lose 30 pounds by December 31st, 2024. Every quarter, I'm going to split that 30 pounds into whatever it is in between those 4 quarters, and I'm gonna check myself every time. And like you said, maybe you make it and maybe you don't. But if you're not like, oh my gosh, it's not happening, I'm not gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna change my goal to, 2. You still want to kind of push yourself. And then also too, like celebrate your micro wins, like you said. Yeah, I lost 2 pounds, I lost 5 pounds. I'm getting up every day this week, every day this month. I woke up and, worked out 3 days, a week, like I said. So be able to, when you write those things down, you can kind of track and see, okay, yeah, this is what I did. I did do this, I did that. And then kind of keep yourself positive as you're going through.
Yep. Let's see if we got anything else on here. We talked about accountability. So we talked about checking in. Make sure that you are checking in with your partner. As you're progressing throughout the year, whatever that time frame is that you decide. If your goal isn't a year-long goal, if it's a shorter-term goal, make sure that you are checking in. But it's important again that as you're checking in, hey, this goal you set, is this still a goal that you want to get to?
Yeah.
Because maybe you had a goal of losing 100 pounds. And you get through part of the year and you're like, dang, this is a lot harder than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's adjust the goal. What do you think the new goal could be?
Right.
Like, just stay in tune, stay communicating. That allows you to continue to build on that muscle that is communicating effectively.
And I think that's helpful too. Being able to kind of, like you said, listen to what the other person said their goals are. Like we talked about before, we do our goals individually. We write them down individually. And sometimes previously before, like in the past, we would not go back and look at those goals again until it was like, oh man, the year's almost over. Let me see how many things I can check off the list that I did this year or didn't do. You kind of want to, while you're going through and checking off those things, you do your quarterly checks, and then you also make time to be like, man, okay, well, maybe that's not what it is, and have that dialogue back and forth. But being able to be open to that conversation and being open to that dialogue or possible critiquing from your partner is important as well, to making sure that you do set goals that benefit you individually and as a couple.
All right, and I'm actually in the process of if y'all have any questions or anything like that, please,
put them in the
and
chat.
questions, comments, please put them in the comment section. I'm going to actually share some of those. And also I received a question from a viewer before tonight's episode got started. So I wanted to share our audience question for this evening, and we will have a Q&A session at the end of each show. So if you have questions you would like for us to answer on air, please make sure you send it to us. You can email us at pursuitofforever@gmail.com, or you can just inbox us on our Facebook page, IG page, or TikTok page. Don't say nothing crazy because my wife will fight you. Let me see. Audience question.
I'm trying to do better.
All right. So, relationship. So I'm typing this in as we speak. All right. So I'm going to share this, add this banner. Oh, yeah.
We also have comments too. We can share as well.
Is it okay? Okay, boom, there we go. Oh, first let's get to the comments and questions.
Yeah, guys.
All right, so I'm gonna start from the top. Hey, Miss Linda, how's it going? Hey, Bridget. Hey, Jay, what up, Jay?
What's up, Jay?
Charlize. Hey, Charlize. No Charleston. Hey, Katisha, how's it going? Hey, Lanisha, how's it going? Hey, Brittany. Hey, Mary. Jaquetta, how's it going? Coming down. Joy. Hey, what up, Joy? All right. She said, this one here was talking about the TikTok. I was about to post the lyric today, the Teddy Pendergrass. I think that's from the meme that Toya was sharing.
It is, and I'll share it in our stories.
Yeah.
So you guys can see it.
And she said, I believe that some personal goals double as relationship goals.
Yes.
I agree. That's sort of what we're getting to in terms of personal goals and relationship goals. Like sometimes, like they may be individual, but they should definitely be in tandem. Like if my goal, my goal is to buy myself a house and she wants us to live together, that's a kind of weird thing. I see my guy Ralph. What up, Cups? Hey, Isabella, how you doing? My uncle. Hey, Uncle Freddie, the original Luke. He said, I was about to say, you have to get moving in the right directions to get to your goals. Like you said, not just jumping on the road and driving aimlessly. Absolutely. Yeah, man. It's important that you establish where you're going before you leave a house. That's really important if you plan on getting somewhere. Hey, Mike. Hey, Shakim, what's going on, love?
Hi.
My guy Mike. Hey, Will, what up? Hey, Eunice, how's it going? Miss Deborah, how's it going?
Hey,
Tiffany, I say, hey, cuz, what's up? Hey, Quilla, how's it going? John, what up?
Hey,
Love Life
John.
Legacy Podcast, shout out. Uncle Freddie, he said, definitely have to push each other. every once in a while, you see the train moving. When you see the train moving slowly,
Absolutely. When you see it
Absolutely.
slowing down, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put yourself in the other person's shoes and see how they're affected.
Absolutely, Miss Deborah.
You have empathy is so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
Empathy is
sure.
so important because you may think it's a stupid goal that a person has,
Yeah.
but if you are communicating, you can hear from them and hear why it's important to them, and still
Absolutely.
and help them.
Yeah.
Tiara, it's also
Yes.
important to not compare your relationship or your relationship goals to others. Comparison is a thief of joy. Small wins are still wins.
That part.
Absolutely, sis. That's my
Mhm.
sister. What up, Tiara? Hey Tegan. I don't know if Tegan's watching, but absolutely. I wanna just pause right there because something that bothers me is when that happens. I don't care how good you think somebody's relationship is. You don't know what people go through to get to that part in their relationship.
Yeah.
You're seeing them in their current phase. You didn't see what phases they came to get there. You don't know what trials, what tribulations that they went through previously,
Right.
currently, or they will in the future. So never, ever, ever compare your relationship to someone else's.
Absolutely.
Instead, what I believe is that from everybody that you meet, there's something to learn. There's something to learn and something that you can use, whether it be something that you can add to your life or eliminate from your life. A great example is that I grew up around men that cheated on their wives. Like that was something that was not uncommon. But growing up, I said I never wanted that to be me.
Yeah.
I never wanted that to be me. Did that mean that the people that I saw doing that were bad people? No, but I said to myself, hey, when I become a husband, I don't want to be a husband that makes my wife feel like that, because I saw, the women in my life and the way that affected them. Conversely, when I watch relationships, there's certain things I see in relationships, and there's stuff that I want to mimic. A great example: my Uncle Freddie's on here. My auntie Carolyn, and my Uncle Freddie, my auntie Janice, my uncle Myron. Like when I look at their marriages, like I'm like, whoa, they're 30 plus years in. Like that's
goals, man.
Like they're 30 running up on 40 years in. Like that's, to me, that is the priority. Like if anything else, I'm trying to sit at their feet and understand what did it take for them to, what trials and tribulations did they get through to make it to 30 years? What kind of compromises did they make in their relationship? What kind of things were they willing to give up to make their relationship, better for years to come? So I take a lot from them in that regard. There are also relationships that I see things and I say, I never want to make my wife feel like that.
Yeah, and there's still things you can take.
Yes.
There's always things you can pick up. Not necessarily things you want to emulate, but things, like you said, examples that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
So
and recognize when you see it in yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because a lot of times the stuff that we don't like in other people's relationships is stuff that low-key we do.
Yeah. But I think sometimes too, that comes with growth as well.
Yes.
Because in the beginning, there might have been things that other people were doing that I didn't like that I noticed. And I didn't notice that until I got to a certain point.
Yes.
So just being able to have communication and being able to be open, being able to listen while you're listening to those conversations, and being able to allow there to be an air of, okay, I trust you enough to know you wouldn't tell me that this, is something that's happening that's not really happening. And kind of, let somebody not necessarily check you, but to put those words in there so you can kind of pay attention to you being able to check yourself when that happens.
I love what you just said, like about having someone that's able to check you. Your spouse should be able to check you. Like a lot of people see that as a bad thing. Like don't try to check me. But no, you need people to check you.
Yeah,
like
not in a negative way. In love, they can do it in love.
No, but you check me. Like if I'm doing something outside of who I say I am and who I want to be, you will check me and say, "What is this?
Yeah.
What is that?" And I think that's important.
Yeah.
Like I think that's important within the confines of a marriage. But again, to each is her own. Let's see, Jaquetta, what's going on? I don't know if it's Jaquetta or Jaquette, so I apologize if I messed it up. You never know what happens behind closed doors. Absolutely. And communication is important, even the hard conversations. I won't say even, I'll say especially.
That is.
Especially the hard conversations. The hard conversations are the ones that we know we need to have, but we're not going to have because we want to sit in comfort. And the truth is that I would say I'd rather deal with I'd rather deal with a mess when it's small
Mhm.
versus when it's large.
Yeah.
Just again to give you a metaphor, if you have a piece of sand, right? You have a piece of sand in your hand and not recognize that it's even there. You get enough pieces of sand, you got the beach. One is much easier to clean up than the other. So I'd rather deal with this thing small while we have the opportunity
Mhm.
to deal with it and get it cleaned up and get it out the way than before it becomes this mountain
Oh yeah.
of this mountain that is impossible for us to overcome.
Yeah.
I see my guy. Freddie, we need to be checked in a loving way sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Know who you with.
Who you with?
Know who you with. You gotta know who you with.
Yeah, man.
You gotta know who you with, right? And not only know who you're with, but know back to the goals piece, right?
Mm.
Know who you're with, know how to appropriately challenge them, right? So if they bring me a goal and like if Toya brought me a goal and say, hey, my goal was to read a book this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we get to the end of January and I say, hey, where are you in your goals? She said, oh, I finished that book the second week of January.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got 12 more months to go. All right, cool. Let's go back to that list.
Right.
You can do more.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that reading that book, finishing that book meant something to you. Mm-hmm. All right, let's find you some other books.
Right.
What other books you're interested in? I'm gonna go to Amazon and get some books right now for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We can do that for one another if we're intentional. Thank you for that. That was good. All right, so we're gonna get to our question. We're running out of time in the show, but I'm gonna get to our audience question of the day.
Yeah.
All right, so the audience question, they didn't tell me that they wanted me to share their name, so I'm not going to.
No, it's not.
But it said, is taking a mental break in a relationship okay? And my understanding is that it came from this post. I'm not sharing the post on the screen right now, but I'll read it to you guys. So a young lady, she said, everyone deserves some me time, especially a man who pays all the bills. Wifey sounds insecure as well. Let's see. So
we need some backstory.
We do need backstory. Give me 1 second. Can I pull up the Facebook? Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'll pull up the Facebook and we're going to talk through it. Facebook.
So while he's waiting, he's just looking up information on the question, which was, is taking a mental break in a relationship okay? So we're just going to get some background information because, of course, I can't give an answer unless I really know, like, what
the context
type of relationship are you in, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got questions.
So
you guys, while he's doing that, if you want to, I see y'all coming through.
Yeah, I see
in the chat. But for those who missed it, the question was, is taking a mental break in a relationship okay? So if y'all comment in the chat, give us some answers. What do you think? Is it okay? Yes? No? What scenarios is it okay? What scenarios is it not okay?
Oh, no, that's a code. See, this is stuff we'll have straight next week when we have our next episode.
That's
but
okay.
Thank y'all so much for bearing with us as we are.
I'm loving the comments, guys. Keep them coming.
Is it okay? Is a mental break in a relationship okay? What are y'all's thoughts? And
again, thank you guys for your support on the page, commenting, liking, sharing, following, all of that.
Yeah, make sure you follow us.
Appreciate you guys.
Make sure you follow us on all of our socials.
Thank you for all the hearts and the thumbs up.
All right, I'm almost there. Come on. Allow.
So a lot of people are taking their time to comment. So we're just waiting on what we think. Is it okay to take a mental break in a relationship?
All right, so let's share this screen instead. All right, so at the stage. Okay, so it looks like this here. So minimize that. Well, if you didn't want people to know your name, they know your name now. Sorry.
Oh my
gosh. So it says, so this guy here says, I'm getting a suite for 2 days. Can I maximize this? Kind of larger.
We can just read it. Let's pretend like we're.
I'm getting a suite for 2 days, and I'm turning my phone off. I just want 2 days of peace, babe. Just me by myself for my health.
2 days without your fiance and kids sound like you want to cheat. I ain't with that. So no.
Are you hearing me? I need time for myself and I deserve it. You will know where I'm at. I just want to be alone for 2 days and it's not up for debate.
You can have peace here at the house we pay for. Blank. That, call me back now.
I pay the mortgage and all the other bills. This is my Christmas gift to myself. Love,
Clutching my pearls.
I'm done arguing about it.
Like I said, you can have your peace here. Me and the kids will go to my mom's house. Period. And I know what the person's name is because I can read through them scrapes on that screen.
Bae, I'll be gone till Saturday. I love you and the kids. I'll call you when I get there and let you know where I'm at. Talk to you later.
Do that, and the engagement is off, and you have a whole crib. I said what I said. You're not picking up your son. He wants to talk to you. All right, then. Don't even come back here at this point.
All right. So that
Drops mic. I wasn't prepared for my debut.
all right.
I didn't
So
do very well.
we didn't know we'd be getting theater here.
Theatra. I wasn't there. And I was a theater kid in school.
Yeah, so as y'all
Ooh,
heard,
Lord.
all right.
So that was the backstory, guys.
That's the backstory. No, the guy pays the mortgage. So in that case, let's talk about it.
Woo, Jesus.
Let's talk about it.
Mm.
All right. So taking a mental break. So the guy in the situation, he was reaching out to his fiance and letting her know
That
that
he was going to do
he
it.
needed some time to himself.
Mm.
I'm gonna say, nah, bruh. You don't get to do that. One, I don't know your relationship situation, but your spouse is probably at the house with the kids much more than you are. And we as men really do undervalue the toll that it takes for women to take on the bulk of the responsibility when it comes to raising our kids.
Yeah.
We may be going through things that are that may require us to sort of dig deeper, emotionally, or even dealing with issues that we don't know how to deal with. But I would come back to, why isn't the person that you're going to marry your refuge?
Yeah, like why do you have to leave the house? It's obviously not his safe space. Something is going on. I totally agree with D. There is a bigger issue somewhere.
Yeah, you should be able to. And this is something. Ooh, I was actually talking to Shayla, my sister Miss Shayla today at work about why our podcast meant so much to me, and it's because so many times we get that conversation, we see that set of comments, and then the married people, the people in committed relationships that have worked over the course of time, really are the minority of the people in the room.
Yeah.
So you don't have a conversation structured in what are healthy ways to deal with needing that type of break. The first thing I'd ask myself is, why can't you talk to your fiance? Your fiance seemed like she would be willing
open
to listen. She's like, no, you come here.
Yeah.
You come to me.
Yeah.
Come talk to me.
Yeah.
But it's something that says that I'm hearing, and I see a lot of people commenting on this. There's a much larger issue than him just needing a break.
Definitely.
Like, it sounds like he doesn't feel like he can talk to her.
Yeah,
he doesn't feel like
he
he
needs
can
a break
open
from
up.
her.
He
needs a break from her, from what I'm reading. He needs a break from her. He is not that is not his safe space. That is not his peace. And he needs to go someplace else where he can get that. That's what it looks like to me.
He needs to go somewhere else he can get that. He's trying to.
Yeah, and the place he's trying to get it is not there.
But he's engaged to marry her.
Yeah, which is an issue, I think.
So yeah, so I don't think so. In that scenario, for sure, I don't think that a mental break is a good idea, especially considering that she does not seem to be on board with this at all. And he may be risking his future.
It sounds like
he proposed to this young lady.
Yeah, he's already risked it.
He has made
a statement. He is going to do what he wants to do.
Left. And he's not answering the phone.
And
that's the other thing. Like, so
sad.
That's the other thing. When you go, so let's say you do take a mental break. You're gonna go to that room or whatever.
Yeah.
And your spouse calls you, and you don't pick up. You make yourself look nasty.
Yeah.
You make yourself look nasty. And I'll take it, more personal. Like, I go on road trips a lot. I go on flights a lot for work. But there's never a time where my phone rings and I don't pick it up. If I'm in a conference, if I'm in a workshop, if I'm out at dinner, I pick it up because I want her to know that there's nothing that she needs to be worried about. But again, I would never just leave my house on some
BS.
I need a mental break. Leaving you with the kids.
Again,
Like,
the break was from them all. The break was from everybody.
We got it, fellas. Yeah, we got to make sure that we are respecting these our young ladies, especially that are home with the kids. Like if they're home with the kids, I don't even care if she got a job and she's coming home and you're like, well, the kids at school most of the day. It don't matter, bruh. It don't matter. It takes so much to raise a child, and most of us men do not take the primary role when it comes to rearing the kids. So we don't even know all that it takes. We don't know that, she spends the majority of her time listening to the kids talk about the stuff that happened, trying to cook dinner. She's also trying to make sure that you have what you need when you get home. Like, nah, that's buggy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the comments. I see y'all are going crazy now. I love it.
Bananas.
Let's go back.
No.
All right, bunch of no's. Mental break. There's laughter. Find some ways to relieve stress. No break is acceptable. Find ways to relieve stress.
Yeah.
I would say try to find ways within your relationship to relieve stress.
Yeah, I think being able to
That's
compromise.
a whole topic.
Yeah, being able to compromise as well. Like she was open to compromising. She said, I will go to my mom.
I'll go to my mom's. Yeah, she said that.
I agree. You guys have given different options for compromising as well. Go outside, go with your boys, go play ball, go play pool.
Yeah.
Go to your man cave.
And I'm gonna skip down real quick because I saw Hens talk about this, like a guy's trip, right? So like a guy's trip, I don't see falling into the same realm of what he's talking about here, because she take a girl's trip. That's something that, hey, maybe they plan that out. Like, go do that. Like, I got the kids. That's something we agreed on. We agreed, hey babe, I'm going on a guy's trip.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a week. We're going out to Vegas. We're going to Miami. We're going to Tampa. We're going to Atlanta. We're like whatever we're doing. But if you need me, you call.
Yeah.
And I'm picking up.
He has turned his phone off and said he will
not. I'm going to a hotel by myself.
I don't care if there's an emergency. You handle it. You got it.
Nah, that's crazy.
I said what I said. I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. And you got this for 2 days.
There's deeper issues than needing a mental break. There's deeper issues in a relationship. He's wild and go to the man cave. Absolutely. And if you don't got one, go in your yard. See, there it is, Mike. Go for a walk, drive 2 days. Go for a drive 2 days. Don't come back. Since you asked, I'll leave.
I mean,
go drive 2 days. That's funny. There's a deeper issue. She offered to go to her mother's for a weekend. That was a good suggestion. That was absolutely a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Dude needs to find a good hobby as an outlet. Go fishing, golfing, hooping for a few hours. Go to the gym. Go kickbox. Go to a rage room. You don't need to go for 2 days, fam. Weak men got to stop talking and having sex and stop doing anything if they're not ready for responsibility.
I agree.
Stop talking and stop having sex and stop doing anything if you're not ready for responsibility. You should not. If you need a mental break from your life, including the person you plan on spending the rest of your life with.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I don't know what
he
you got
has
going on,
not. He has not
I
accepted
know what you got going on,
that.
boy.
He sounds like the
Mike says she's already gone, just not formally.
He's gone. He's definitely.
He said the phone's gonna be off. I'm gonna say off. She said OFF off. I'm gonna say off. Priorities and respect. Where are the priorities? Where's the respect? And I bet he's taking the house money to do it. He don't got some kind of special pot of money. Toya might have hit the nail on the head. Reality is kicking in for him. He's not ready to make a commitment, a life-changing one. If you go on a girl's trip or a boy's trip, it's kind of the same thing. I alluded to that one. Weak men making us look bad. Hey, Mike, one thing we're going to make sure that we establish on this show here, bro, is weak men can never make us look bad. Men are men. Yep. Men are men. And a man is going to be a man regardless, because we stand on our own square. We stand on our square. We stand on our two. And that looks differently for different people. But we stand on what we stand on. You know what I mean? We stand on what we stand on. So, yeah, absolutely.
Mike's comments are sending me.
Mike's my guy.
Hotel on the side joint.
Hotel on the side joint there. Yep. That you already know. Better break into a nap. Break into a nap. I'm going to take a nap.
I like that one.
I'm going to take a nap. You're talking right. Thank you. But yeah, man, I think that's. I think we knocked that down from all the angles.
Yeah.
We knocked it down from all the angles. And that is getting us towards the end of tonight's pod.
Thank y'all for the hearts, the likes, the shares,
y'all for
follows.
Listen.
We appreciate you guys.
Y'all are on fire tonight. Y'all are on fire tonight. In terms of, like I said, I like to make sure that we're offering resources. with it. So just make sure. A challenge for you guys. Me and Toya talked about. Challenge is if you have not already. I challenge you to get with your spouse and to set 3 goals.
Yeah, significant other. It doesn't have to be a spouse because not everybody
3 goals
is married on here. But yeah,
set 3 goals for yourself and for your partner. Because like Toya said, and not everybody's married.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're setting those goals. Think about SMART. Think about specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time based. And do those check-ins and be accountable to one another.
Absolutely.
All right. Do that. And if you don't mind, if you'd like to, please go to our Facebook page together. Together. Our Facebook page, Pursuit of Forever.
Yes.
Follow us on social media.
Yeah.
But go until we have the page and put in there what your goals are. Give us one goal that you have for your relationship for 2024. It can be to take a couples trip. It can be to love each other, to show each other that you love each other more.
Present.
It can be to be present, like whatever it is. Think of something and follow these other great relationship groups, pages.
Yeah.
There's so much positive inspiration. I always tell my wife and people that social media is a tool. Social media is a tool. Just like any tool, you can use it for good or you can use it for evil, right? You can use a hammer as a tool. I can take it to build a house or I can bash somebody overhead. It doesn't mean that the tool is bad. It means that the user is using it badly. So let's make sure that we're making better use of the tools. All of us are on social media just based on the fact that we're watching this live right now. So find some positive married people to follow on social media.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You can follow the other stuff too, but find something that's going to edify and give you some positive spirits.
Yeah.
With that in mind,
that could be a goal.
With that in mind, we are now on Spotify. So if you go to Spotify, you go to Pursuit of Forever on Spotify, you can actually pull up our account. And last week's pod is actually already up there. Let me share that with you guys.
Episode 0.
In fact, let me share my screen.
And if you guys have missed it, please go back and watch it. Let us know what you think. We love seeing the hashtag replays.
Yeah.
So if you guys have missed it, somebody who would benefit from this episode, the first episode, make sure you tag them. And also, share it with them. Those of you that are watching on Facebook, go ahead and do that as well. And then we'll just answer some questions while Rajon is doing that. So Mary, yes, we will be going live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we are super happy to have you here as well as everybody else and spending some time with us. We know y'all didn't have to do it, but we're so glad you're here.
Yep.
Like I said, share as well.
All right, sorry. That's all I'm trying to find right here. So if you go to Spotify, right here, it actually shows you Pursuit of Forever podcast. If you click on this link, no thanks. Oh, sure. All right. No, we just don't do that. All right, but if you look right here, that's what it looks. Let me share this.
Yeah, they can.
If you look, it looks like this right here. Episode 0, date night, which was our episode from last week where we talked about date night, and we got some pretty cool topics. We had a lot of questions last week as well. So by all means, please go there, check it out, download the podcast, listen, rate us, review us. Yeah. I'm not going to use Bomani Jones and stuff. I got to think of something else. But he say, give us 5 stars if you give us 4 stars if you think you're a hater. I'm not going to say that because that's his stuff, and I don't steal people's material.
I don't bite people's stuff.
Yeah, but give us 5 stars, rate us, review us. But that's our time for this week. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and sharing your thoughts and opinions.
Be sure to tune in next time where we discuss all things love, marriage, and parenting, and more.
And if you have questions or comments about this week's podcast or something you'd like for us to discuss, you can email us at pursuitofforever@gmail.com, or you can inbox us on any of our social media platforms.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram under @PursuitOfForever, and on X @PursuitOfForever.
All right. And look for a special announcement about our upcoming couples retreats and workshops. We are already in the beginning planning stages for our first couples retreat of this year. Actually, we got one that's coming up in February. That's with our group. Shout out to the gang, relationship gang. But we will be going, our relationship this year in February will be in Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
But we're going to be planning one for later this year in the fall.
Yeah.
That is to come. So be on the lookout for that. We will be looking for 4 couples to go on this couples retreat with us in the the falls. We'll have
Yeah.
more to go there.
Fall of 2024. So we're going to open it up, and we're going to do it locally, as we said in episode 0. So we're looking for 4 people, 4 couples that we're going to pick for that, and looking for some great, resources and information on where we're located at. So I'm super excited about opening that up to you guys as well. And in closing, always remember,
forever is worth the work. We'll see y'all next time. Thank y'all so much. God bless y'all, and good
Bye, guys.
night.
Good night.